I just wanna say thank you for coming. These guys have been working so hard on their jobs and then for this program. And I'm just thrilled to bring this to you because I was thinking today of the name Village Values. It can mean so many different things. You know, it's the values that we hold dearly. It's the value of the village and what it can offer us. And it's what we're hearing tonight is maybe not the most fun thing to value, but probably the most important thing to value. So this panel's got some great information for you, and we'll see how the time goes. We are going to take your questions, but there are some really cool demonstrations that are going to be going on. And what I would prefer to do is to allow you the time to go see those and batch out the questions on the digest every Thursday. So we'll see what happens. But that's a possibility that we'll be doing. Okay? Just thank you for being here to support us, and thank you for being interested in the welfare of the village. And thank you. All right, I'm gonna take you over. Thank you to Harv, who's gonna do his opening remarks for us. And there you go.
Thank you, Marcy. I think I'll walk over here so I don't knock your cup over too. First, I want to say thanks to Walmart, one of our great community partners, for hosting the event this evening and providing all those terrific refreshments. Our panel of experts here, starting down on the far end, we have the Citizens Police Academy. I can say this. Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association, leader Mike McCune. We've got our police chief, Ricky Middleton. Chairman of the Public Safety Committee, Dennis Brown. Our fire chief, Jason Miller. And lastly, our LifeNet director, Ronnie Weaver. I'd also like to mention that the Public Safety Committee has a great working relationship with the Public Works Committee on traffic safety issues and with the Lakes Committee on water safety issues. So those three committees are working very well together, and I'd particularly like to recognize the chairman of the Public Works Committee, Jim Patton. Give him a wave, Jim.
Okay. Now we will turn it over to Chief Middleton.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to tell you a little bit about your police department. We have 18 certified police officer positions, including my position. Right now, we're staffed at 17. I'm looking for someone who'd like to be a police officer. It's tough. It's really tough to find someone who fits the village. Okay. Also have one clerical staff, and we have 5 full-time dispatchers. Now, we are a 24/7 operation. We have 2 911 PSAPs that come into the police department that the dispatchers take care of. If you dial 911, don't hang up. We know who you are. Okay? And if you don't answer our questions, we're going to send a police officer over to check and make sure you're okay. All right. The patrol and dispatchers, they do work 12-hour shifts. Bit of trivia. We are a private police department. Okay. In 1983, legislature passed a bill that allows the sheriffs of each county to commission officers in planned communities. That's how we draw our authority as law enforcement. Also that year, they passed a bill that allowed communities to vote and accept what we call the Act 300, the traffic rules for their community. And our board at that time chose to enforce all traffic laws on our private streets. That's unheard of. Most officers cannot write citations on private streets, and we can. So we're very unique. But that also comes with some pain. Okay? We do not qualify for any state or federal grants because we're private. We're not a municipality, we're not a governmental entity, we're not a tribal council, we're not a political subdivision. These are all things that the government says you must be if you want their money, which we're not. Okay? So we're a little bit unique in that. The citations that we issue in here, we issue warning citations and hard copy citations. That money goes to the counties and to the state. We don't get a dime because we're not a governmental entity. But that's okay. We do not get charged for housing prisoners in either one of the jails because it's actually their prisoners since we're commissioned through the county. So that's a great trade-off. Okay? In 2015, my officers wrote 4,196 reports associated with calls. That seems like a lot, and it is a lot. The demographics are changing, we're getting a little busier. Some of the things that we offer in the PD, some of you may utilize the visitors vacation form, the vacation form. If you're gonna go out of town, come to the PD or go to the POA website, hsvpoa.org. You're gonna hear that a lot tonight. And you can fill out the information that you're gonna be out of town, and as my officers have time, they will come by and check your house. They will make sure that your doors are locked, your windows are intact, that whatever information you put on that form, that's what they find. It also gives us information that if you're out of town and something happens, we know how to get a hold of it. Okay, so that's a really good form. Also, we have the Contact Plus forms. Some of you may be familiar with that. That gives us some information if we get a call for a welfare check and we can't get you to answer your door. That gives us information, maybe a neighbor has a key. So we can go to this form and see if you have these people listed. So if you're not taking advantage of that, please do so. And the other is the Code Red program. You have to go onto the POA website, sign up, and this program is if we'd have a Alzheimer's patient who's walked away, we need help finding this person. This is a reverse dialing system. We can select the area, how many houses, what area we may think he's in or she's in, and it will automatically dial everyone who is signed up in that area. And some of you may be getting these calls that say, you're looking for such and such, certain clothes, you're going, what the heck is this? Okay, people call the PD and say, what's going on? All right, really good program. If you're not part of it, please go on the website and sign up for it. Some of the other projects that we are involved in with the police department. First Assembly of God Church had an extravaganza for Easter. Extravaganza. Over 12,000 eggs they placed and had children come in and pick them up. The police department, along with the Citizens Academy, we provided security. It was at Cortez Ramp. We provided security to keep the kids out of the water and make sure everybody was safe. Really good program. We have the prescription drug take-back program. If you're not familiar with that, that is a program. If you have any unwanted medication, you can bring them to the PD. We have a box there 24/7. You can place those drugs in that box and they will be destroyed. Don't flush them down the toilets. That's not good for our systems. Okay? So bring them by the PD. We're also, this last year, we did a Halloween at the police department. First time it's ever been done. Had about 150 children who participated. Great turnout. This year, my group, talking about doing haunted houses, you know, fun stuff for the kids. And that's great. We're doing a gun-safe child gun lock safety program. If you need a lock, if you have your grandchildren coming in, you want to lock your weapons up where they're safe, come by the PD. They're free. help yourself, we've got plenty of those. And 4th of July, who was at the fireworks last year? All those glowing things up and down the beach, we're gonna do that again this year. And hopefully, it'll be better. You notice some of the folks wearing little red blinky lights. That's part of the Be Safe and Illuminate program. We delivered a couple of hundred of those to the schools, so children who have to wait for the school bus in the mornings, when it's dark, they put it on their backpacks and they can be seen. So a good program. We have instituted a couple of neighborhood watch programs, facilitated those, Diamante subdivision and the Valencia Court subdivision. They called inquiring about what can we do to help our community. We want to do something, so we went and helped them start a neighborhood watch program. We encourage that anywhere in the village where you want to get your group together, your subdivision, join forces to help make it safer, to be our eyes, give us a call. We'll be glad to help you. And then the last and the most important program that we've been working on this year is the Citizens Police Academy program. In 2 years, we've run 105 people through. As a result of that, I found somebody who wasn't very intelligent at the time to agree to start an alumni association and get a 501c3 so you can now make donations, okay? But Mike's doing a really good job of that. Yes, a moment of weakness. We're going to start another academy Tuesday night. At this moment, there's almost 40 people signed up for that. If you're interested, we'll still take applications. We would like for you to know as much as you can about your police department. It's an 8-week program, and we will talk about anything but juvenile cases and open and active investigations. Anything else you want to know about your police department, we'll try to give you the information that you need. A couple of nights, we have the Saline and Garland County Sheriff come out and do a little demonstration of some type. It's becoming a running battle. Saline County does a really good mock homicide, but they cannot compete with Voyager the horse from Garland County. So, those are really big nights. Also have the animal control under the police department out on Calopa Road. Have 2 ladies that do a really good job picking up animals and taking care of them out there. Also, I have the gates, and we've contracted with Allied Barton for the gates. They're doing a really good job for us. There's something I'd like to tell you about there. On the POA website, any of you golfers go in and use the website to make your tee times? Okay, also, you can log your visitors into the gate off that same program. So if you're not aware of that, please contact someone and they'll show you how to get in and how to get logged in, where you can enroll your guest yourself at the gates. With that, Marcy says I only have a limited number of minutes to talk, so I will stop.
I would say energy for
Okay, this is my buddy,
You're not too intelligent one.
Mike Keene, and he's going to tell you a little bit about the Citizens Police Academy.
Thank you. Well, Harv, don't feel too bad because none of us can get the whole mouthful of our name in there. It's hard to do. The Citizens Police Academy has been running for 2 years. Can everybody hear me? Okay. Been running for about 2 years. There have been 4 graduating classes, 105 total graduates. And out of those 105 total graduates, we were able to invite them to participate in the Alumni Association. And we currently have an association membership of 60, and 30% of those are lifetime members. So you, like I said, you can see all the flashy, blinky lights. As a matter of fact, why don't,
I think they should stand up.
I think you should stand up so everybody can see. We probably might outnumber you. The number one question that I always get asked is, what does the Citizens Police Academy alumni do? This is the long version. And a lot of what I'm going to talk about and show you is in the brochure, the handout brochure. But it kind of looks like blah, 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 blah. In English, what it really stands for is two major areas that we focus on, and that's community events and fundraising. And the chief touched on a couple of the community events. I'll just run through them real quickly. The child adult identification kits. We actually, the alumni actually makes those kits. And we also have the adult kits that we've made up. We haven't done any actual fingerprinting yet, but the child kits, we've probably done about 200 child identification kits, one at the fire station open house and one at one of the local daycares. And the Be Safe Illuminate campaign that the chief has launched, that includes the Trick or Trunk, Halloween, the 4th of July, where all the access points, we have volunteers stationed to hand out the glow lights, bracelets, necklaces, and we're hoping to this year find a sponsor that will provide us with enough flashing blinky safety lights to hand out to families also. And then there's the Easter egg hunt, which the chief touched on. We also are planning Hot Springs Village Police Appreciation Day, and we're going to have that open to the public, and it's going to be just our way of saying thank you to the police officers and their families, feeding them that day, and have some raffle prizes and stuff like that. Let's see if you like. This is what the child and adult ID kits look like. This is the child one. And all we do is do the fingerprinting portion of it and hand it over to the parents of the children. And they fill out the rest, dental records, they take a hair sample for DNA, and it's primarily for a lost child, and being able to identify them. The adult kits, we're going to be approaching some of the senior living centers and that, and work with some of the people that have memory issues in case they go wandering off, and make it a little easier to identify who they are. And I believe this was at the open house at the fire station. And this is the Be Safe Illuminate program, 4th of July last year, where we handed out, I don't know, 1,000, probably 1,000 bracelets and necklaces, and when it got dark, it was pretty impressive to see that the whole bridge was just lit up. For our first go-round, we were able to get 500 of the flashing lights, and this is a picture of Fountain Lake Elementary School where we donated 200 lights to them. We got 500 total from Ike Eisenhower Insurance. We donated 200 of those to the Fountain Lake Elementary School. Probably have about 200 left, but again, we're still looking for sponsors to provide additional lights for some activities we got coming up later on in the year. Trick or Trunk, that was held in the police station parking lot, and I believe this year we're going to expand it into a haunted house. So we'll see how that works. The Easter egg hunt, 12,000 eggs. You can see in the photo that the ground is just littered with eggs. And I'm pretty sure that's Easter Bunny's being taken in for questioning for littering Easter eggs. And the second part of our function as the Alumni Association is the chief touched on grants, not being eligible for state or federal money. We kind of depend on private foundations, donations, merchandise sales, and some fundraising events that we're going to be announcing pretty soon after we've got some other things that we have to take care of first, but we'll be doing some of those. This is one that one of our members had received a solicitation from the United States Deputy Sheriff's Association for money. And in this solicitation, they showed all the nice things they give away to police departments that don't have the type of equipment. So we kind of turned it around on them. Instead of sending them a donation, we asked them to send us something. And we sent them an email. They called the chief back, and I think probably about 3 weeks later, they donated 20 tactical flashlights, individual flashlights for each of the officers, and 20 of these kind of glow-in-the-dark traffic vests. And you put the blinky lights on them, and it's really pretty impressive. Donations, we've received several donations. This one's from the Evening Lions Club. Merchandise, we've got hats, shirts. You can see the I Support Hot Springs Village Police logo in the lower right-hand corner there. That's the state of Arkansas, the blue line through it, and I understand from the chief that's a nationally recognized symbol. And those are available in decals. We can put them on shirts, jackets, hats, anything. What you see right there with the shield, those are all available to current alumni members. So we needed something for people that hadn't attended the police academy. So we came up with, I think Jim Patton came up with that design. These are some really important parts here. Donations. If you have a wine cellar that's stocked, drink it all now. If your cellar is empty, wait, because on April 28th, Cork and Bottle on Highway 7 is going to donate 5% of all their sales to the Alumni Association. So I really meant soda, not wine, soda. ArkansasGives.org was an important event for us that happened today.
45 minutes left.
It ends at 8 o'clock. We joined the Arkansas Nonprofit Alliance to be able to participate in this one-day event for the year. And we just spent about 3 hours over at John Hollingsworth's garage, set up there accepting donations. He allowed us, along with 3 other nonprofit organizations, to sit up in his garage while he was having his open house. And I think we did pretty well for our first time. And we really don't know the full benefits of belonging to this organization other than this one-day event. So this is kind of a learning process. We've only been in existence since August, so we're kind of learning as we go along. Amazon Smile. If I buy everything on Amazon. I don't know about you folks, but not too many people know that Amazon has a unique website where they donate 0.5% of the sales, but you have to designate which organization it goes to, otherwise they just randomly select one. So if you go on to Amazon Smile, it'll pick up your regular Amazon account, and you just go to change my charity, and you'll find Hot Springs Village Citizens Police Academy Alumni Association. I got it all. This is kind of a wish list, a partial wish list that the chief gave us. And disregard the radar units for patrol cars. That wasn't supposed to be on there. I don't want anybody to know that. Let's go farther down on the list. But you can see we've already, the flashlights, the traffic vests, first aid kit for patrol cars, that was funded by a grant from the Daughters of the Revolution. And Jim Patton was working on a grant through the Community Foundation that we just received a thumbs up on yesterday, I believe. So we'll be getting some additional medical supplies for the police department in their vehicles. Some of this stuff you would think, body cameras, vehicle dash cams, all simple stuff, portable radios. These are pretty much standard equipment for a lot of departments, and for the department's own protection, I think it's pretty important because you never know what situation they're going to get into where somebody can dispute or bring up a lawsuit against the police department for something that really didn't happen. I mean, you see it all the time on TV. I'm going to go back because number one on the wish list is a Milo training simulator. And what the Milo training simulator does is it kind of recreates situations that an officer could find himself in. And this is the particular one that we're looking at. It's a 3-screen version where it gives you more of a peripheral awareness that you have to keep in mind. And this is the number one target that we want to look at funding, not only for training our officers but surrounding community officers, and hopefully at some point the chief was talking about making it being able to provide certification statewide. So this would be a state-of-the-art piece of equipment in the state of Arkansas.
I'd like to add that a demonstration or a presentation on that will be at the board meeting. So if you want to see that, everybody get there on the third Wednesday.
And this just gives you an idea. This is just a very short list of the different types of programs that are loaded onto the Milo system. Active shooter situations, probably domestic, a car stop, anything you can imagine that an officer might come up against, you can get for this, or it's already preloaded on there. So it's very key for them to be able to practice situational awareness so that they're prepared for anything that might come up. And I've got a short 3-minute YouTube video that will show this in action. Keep in mind, it's just the 2D 1-screen version. We're looking at the 3-screen version, and it's going to be loud in the beginning. So for people, I guess we got speakers throughout. It's going to be a little bit loud in the beginning, but it'll settle down. So that'll be coming.
The Milo system is the most highly technical available training tool that I think has come to law enforcement of modern time in my generation. It is very realistic. It shows strengths, it shows weaknesses, it shows reality where nobody is going to get hurt or nobody is going to suffer. If a mistake is made, they walk away from the mistake. What it brings to them is a sense of tunnel vision, and the entire world gets shut out other than the scenario or the danger that's placed in front of them for them to make a decision to react to or not react to, or shoot or not shoot.
The Milo is important to our department and our program because it gives the student another opportunity to learn about the use of firearms. Employers have been very responsive to the use of this as part of our training. They call continuously asking us to have an opportunity to use the Milo and also to have us come out and explain to their departments what the Milo is and how it can be used for them and for others.
There isn't anything that can be used for a police officer that is out of this world, and this is about as close to being out of the world as you could get.
The Milo Range is an excellent experience for all police officers in training. I was completely zoned into the screen. I had no idea there was even an audience behind me when I was doing the actual shooting. The scenarios are real. My palms were sweaty, my heart was pounding, and my entire body, arms were shaking and everything. It was just like I was actually there.
Scenarios are part of a training process. That's why they're important. You build the sub-skills first, the verbalization skills, the shooting skills, the defensive tactics skills. It tests them to see if they've acquired the knowledge that they needed from all the training that you've done. It gets them to look at themselves as a self-evaluation. What did I do wrong? What did I do right? What can I change next? One time it could be a shoot, next time it could be comply. And what I'm doing is attempting to do is read their body language, listen to what they're talking and saying to the screen as far as verbalization skills. And if that verbalization skill is pretty good, I can hit the comply button and the person complies. If it's not so good, maybe we go to a shoot situation. Maybe we go to a longer, stretched out scenario, giving them more chance to verbalize. But it does give a variation on the end of the scenario. Granted, the beginning of the scenario is going to be the same, and that gets boring, but the end is going to be a surprise, and we're going to test their judgment, and that's what we want to do.
That's the end of the video.
Price tag.
About 100,000. There's different levels.
We're not taking questions.
Yeah.
Please put this on your card. Okay.
Just one thing I forgot to mention. Once we've got this fine-tuned in and we've got the police officers operating and running it, we ultimately intend on opening it to the public for their use. For whatever entertainment value or whatever, but you can see, put yourself in a situation of what an officer actually has to go through. So that's our goal and our hope. And I don't know what Milo stands for. I looked it up on the internet and on their website, and nobody knows what Milo stands for. So it's just the name of the company. Hope that's not one of the questions. And who am I introducing?
Pass it on to Dennis.
Okay, I'm passing it on to Dennis. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. You have a blue handout, I believe, and I'm going to be sharing just a little bit of information from that. The Public Safety Committee was appointed by the Board of Directors on August 20th of 2014. We've been around for about 20 months, not quite 2 years now. I believe this was on the wish list of Harv Shelton, and since it was on his wish list, I guess he got appointed liaison to our committee, but we were glad to have him, and we're sorry to see that he's going to be retiring so soon. And I see Bob's here from the Public Works Committee, and he's been a liaison to us, and we've worked back and forth with that committee. You'll see on the sheet, which, by the way, this is on the website, the POA website, and you'll see other things about the Public Safety Committee there if you want to Google it. Our purpose is to advise the POA staff within the policies and guidelines of the POA in regards to matters of public safety, including police, fire, and emergency services. And I see I'm surrounded by a little beach there. Yeah. A little bit further down, if you look, you'll see the duties and responsibilities. This is where the rubber meets the road. We act as an advisory group, not a directory, not a directive group, with the HSV, Police Department, Fire Department, Emergency Services. And these are just some of the topics that we look at when we come together and meet. Public safety awareness, security issues, disaster preparedness issues, crime preventative issues and awareness, community relations issues, emergency management, lake safety, fire-wise programs, fire safety, prevention issues, and any other items related to public safety. One of the projects that we looked at very closely and then worked in unison with, in collaboration with the Public Works Department and the police chief and with Harv, had to do with a four-way intersection on Balboa and Boleric. And I believe you see that we have the four-way stop now. Thank you. I can see that going. We would just ask those of you who are still blowing through that stop sign, please don't do that. We might have to put some of those cross, what do you call those things, in the road? Yeah, rumble strips out there. But I think the painting on the road is a big help right now. But that is a dangerous intersection. My understanding is last year we had one fatality there. Our meeting meets at least quarterly, and those are posted on the website. You're welcome to attend them. They meet over at the Coronado Community Center, and they're posted for the meetings there too on their calendars and that. I'm not going to talk any more about the committee. You'll have some questions maybe, and if you'd like to voice them, please do. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jason Miller with the Fire Department. First of all, I'd like to thank every one of you guys, everybody, all members. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here. So thank you from me and the firefighters.
I think you need to be louder.
I can't talk any louder. Excuse me. So anyhow, thank you all for having us here. And again, if it wasn't for you all, we wouldn't be here. So thanks. Thanks for the veterans, every one of them. Anyhow, we are a unique department as well for the fire service. Anyhow, we have 18 paid personnel. We have 4 stations here in Hot Springs Village that are manned and staffed 24/7, 365 days, unless leap year. So our men are spectacular in their jobs and what they do, and they go above and beyond anything of their job description, to be honest with you. We don't just put out fires, we go in and we also gather some of that pictures, whatever it is that you guys cherish, the things that you can't get back. We go in and get medications and things like that. Some departments don't do that. They go in, they put the fire out, they go home. So we're there for you. We offer a smoke detector program. It's through Children's. If you are without a smoke detector, please contact us. We'd be glad to install a smoke detector in your home. That does require a small little inspection, but those are good as well. We are a Firewise community, and we do Firewise programs here. If you are interested in that, we can come out and we can inspect your home, give you a little bit of tips and things like that to hopefully not catch your house on fire from a forest fire. So there's small little tips that we can help you out with on, such as leads and things in your gutters or on your home, or limbs and things like that that need to be trimmed away from your home, and where to store wood and such. Then go into the stations. Our 4 stations are located, one at Cortez Station, the Cortez Station off of Cortez Road, the one off of Boleric Road, which is the Coronado Station, the one off of Ponce de Leon, which is the Balboa Station, and the one up by the police department off of Colella, which is the DeSoto Station. Those 3 stations, all 3 stations, the Balboa, Coronado, and DeSoto, are staffed with 1 man per station. The central station, Cortez, is staffed with 3 personnel per station. Also, some more of the programs that we do offer. We have purchased a fire extinguisher trainer. We do offer fire extinguisher training. We haven't had a whole lot hit on that, but if you have a group or anything like that that wants to learn how to use and how to properly use a fire extinguisher, that would just contact us. We'll set up some times. We have a CPR AED. We have about 6 trainers that can train in CPR and AED. If you have a small group, or if you want to do it individually, we can probably put you with a group. But we do the CPR and AED training, and we can do it at your facilities, church group, or anything like that. So just contact us on that. Let's see, I failed to mention our volunteers that we have. We do have 20 volunteers, so we're a combination department, and they get out of bed just like we do in the middle of the night to go put out a fire. So we thank them for what they do. We have a budget. Our budget runs about $2.4 million. That includes payroll. And also we have, and the reason why I'm going into this is we also have a kind of like a kickback fund that we are funded through the state of Arkansas with Act 833 funds. What that is fire loss. If there's not a lot of fire loss, that money is returned back to the state, and the state issues it to the counties, and then it is issued to the fire departments within that county. We receive funds from Saline County on a point scale, which we are split here in Hot Springs Village between Saline County and Garland County. We receive a 2 points, which is half of what if we were in 100% of that county. So it's very generous, might I add. Also, we received it from Garland County. We do receive 100% from Garland County. And it helps purchase the things that we don't budget for, such as our gear that we have, which is our turnout gear. We also have that on show over here. Quite expensive. It's about $1,500 a set, and that's just the suit, not including boots, gloves, and helmets, and hoods. So it gets expensive, and that Act 833 fund does help us out a lot. We were able to purchase the training tower that we have at Cortez Station, to build that tower through the Act 833 funds. The white rescue truck that you'll see out front, that was purchased through Act 833. There's a camera over here that was purchased through Act 833. We just purchased new radios, which are going digital to help us throughout the village, since the FCC narrow-banded all radio communications, which went from a 100 watt down to a 50 watt. And anytime you transmit, it's cut in half, so your footprint's much smaller. The digital side, it allows us a huge footprint, so we're not going to lose communication with firefighters and other emergency services. That helped us purchase that. We just last month got the approval from the board, which thank you for that, to spend $156,000 for 26 new SCBAs and spare cylinders. An SCBA is a self-contained breathing apparatus. That is what we have on our back. That is our lifeline that we breathe with to go in any structure or any hazmat situation that gives us the proper quality of air to survive in, to do a rescue or what have you. And that helps us. I guess back in the day, back in the 70s, a lot of firefighters came down with lung cancer. Lung cancer was all the chemicals and things like that was put out from these fires, all your couch materials, your carpets, and insulations and things like that. So that helps us to do our job safely and to get back home to our loved ones and children. If you have any more questions, please write those down on your cards. There's more programs that we do offer, which is the fire hydrant, Adopt a Fire Hydrant program. We want to do that again this year. Last year it wasn't as huge as it was the first year, And hopefully we can get those hydrants painted and keep them maintained around. And I know the children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren love them to death, and they look good. So thank you all who had participated in that as well. Anyhow, if you do have those questions, please fill those out. I'm sure we're going to be answering them by email. Is that right?
Yeah.
So I'm sorry I took up a lot of time. It's Ronnie Weaver's time from EMS. Slide me.
I want to echo what Chief Miller said. It's a privilege to be here and to be able to speak to you guys. And as well, what he said about his men, as well as Chief Middleton's men. We work very closely together in emergency services out here, not just providing medical care, but taking care of each other as well. So I commend them very much out here. What I'd like to start with is just to tell you a little bit about LifeNet as an organization, and then we'll talk about your EMS service here in the village. Conceptually, LifeNet's been in operation serving Arkansas and Texas since 1983. LifeNet is a Arkansas not-for-profit ambulance and helicopter emergency ambulance service. Our area of operations is Texarkana, Arkansas, most of northeast Texas, and those 5 or 6 counties up there. And that is our home base, our headquarters. In 2005, LifeNet took over the EMS system in Garland County from St. Joseph's and National Park Medical Center to start providing 911 services for Garland County, as well as the village at that time. We have operations in Hot Springs Village, and Malvern, and also in Stillwater, Oklahoma, Western Payne County, and the campus of Oklahoma State University. So we're a fairly large organization. They're made up of 3 divisions. Those 3 divisions here, our one division is Hot Springs Village, and Malvern. And each one of our divisions has a director of operations over those areas, with the exception of Hot Springs. We have 2 directors of operations here, myself and Tommy Singleton on Hot Springs, but we split responsibilities. I'm over Hot Springs Village as well as the LifeNet Air program. So again, we're a fairly large service. As an organization, we probably average somewhere between 50 to 55,000 responses a year through our coverage area, and that's included our helicopters and our fixed wing. On a daily basis, we normally deploy anywhere between 40 to 55 ambulances on the street in the areas that we cover. So again, we're a fairly large EMS service. We're governed by a 15-chair medical or a board of directors with a CEO. We had to grow our board in the last couple of years because we moved into Oklahoma, and in 2009 we started operation here in the village. And as we operated more and worked, we realized that most of our representation on our board was mostly local from Texarkana. So we decided that we really needed local support and member on our boards from the areas that we serve. So here in Hot Springs, David York with Regions Bank sits on our board of directors, as well as Libby Vines from Bancorp, and our own Hot Springs Village, Jerry Kosaklo, sits on our board. So it's been fairly unique having our board grow, a lot more ideals and knowledge there. So one of the things we're really proud of is LifeNet is a CAS accredited. And I don't know if any of y'all know what those accreditations means, but it's just like the hospitals have to have accreditation from JCAH. CAS is the Commission of Accreditation for Ambulance Services, and it's the gold standard across the nation. It's a national accreditation. LifeNet is only one of 3 ambulance services in the state of Arkansas that holds this accreditation, and only one of 80 in the nation. So we're audited, and for about a 3-day period every 3 years, and we have to meet the accreditation standards. They look at every aspect of our operation, from our building office to our communications center to our clinical side to our operational side, everything down to make sure that we meet every one of those code standards that are in place, and we're really proud of that. So let's talk about your ambulance service here in Hot Springs Village. It's been an honor to serve y'all guys. We started operation March the 29th of 2009 through a contract with the POA. And some of those contract requirements is that we're required to have at least a minimum of 3 advanced level paramedic ambulances in the village. And we're required to have 4 ambulances on property. And we do. We keep 4 trucks here. We have a backup truck that stays at the Colella station off of Los Lagos, just in the event we have a mechanical issue or we have to deploy a 4th truck due to overload of calls, or if we're doing a special event such as taking care of the football games, or there's a lot of little things here that we do in the village as far as assisting with the 4th of July and some parades and cancer walk. And so we have that ability to pull up a 4th ambulance, pretty much as we need to. We're required to have 3 stations, and we've kind of strategically located those villages. The village is growing, and it's really spread out. I was the original director of Lifemobile out here for years, and and my parents started here in the village when in the early 70s, and I can remember not much from Carmona this way was even paved. So I've seen a lot of changes over the years. But we have a station at 114 Los Lagos, which we call our Colella station. That's also where my office is. We have a station at the Cortez Fire Department and also at the Balboa Fire Department. So again, like Chief Miller said, we work very closely together with the firemen. We live with them 24 hours a day. Even though we're on separate sides of the building, we spend a lot of time with each other. We have response time standards that contractually that we must meet. It's unique here in the village because the village is a geographical nightmare. It's the number of golf courses and the number of lakes. The way a crow flies, yeah, I could be there in 30 seconds if I could just cross this lake. But it's contractually, the requirements that we must meet out here are urban requirements, not rural requirements. We must, on all emergency calls, we call them priority 1s and priority 2s. Anytime we have to use lights and sirens, we must meet 8 minutes and 59 seconds 90% of the time. And I will tell you, that's a very difficult task to do, but we've been able to do it for 6 years. No, almost 10 years now. So, but it's the tools we have in place, the system status management that we do, and the ability to move trucks. So those are some of the requirements contractually that we must meet for the village. Also, to provide dispatch. Here in the village, we have, like the fire department, we work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a week. My guys work 24-hour shifts, and they're off 48 hours, and then they come back. I've got 18 full-time employees, paramedics and EMTs, 19 counting myself. And I have the ability to build a truck and get on a truck and make calls, if I need to. Our clinical oversight, it starts with our field supervisors. Each one of your 24-hour shifts has a field supervisor in all of our divisions. In Hot Springs, they are off the truck. They have their own truck, and they have the ability to first respond or to assist other crews depending on the acuity of the patient. Here in the village, our supervisors are on a truck working 24 hours, but they're in constant communication with the operation managers in Hot Springs as well as myself, and constantly paying attention to what's going on with the other trucks. Most of those supervisors are very tenured employees that's been doing this for some time. We have field training officers who orientates and proctors our new employees. We have a very strict program for new employees, even though they're seasoned and may have come from another EMS system and has got many years under their belt, they still must meet our standards before they're released to work independently in the field. And then we have a quality assurance education manager who is here with me tonight. Hopefully you guys will get back in there and see him before you leave. Very knowledgeable man, and he is our educator. He does all of our in-house education. We do all of our education in-house. All of our employees are required to meet a certain amount of continuing education hours annually, and we do it all in-house, and it's all him doing it. So we're really proud of that. And then each division has a medical director. Dr. Carl Wagenhauser is our medical director, not just for Hot Springs Village, but also Hot Springs and also over the AIR program. He is a board certified emergency medical physician and also works locally here. It's not surprising for him to crawl on our ambulances and ride out with the guys periodically. He has his own uniform. You never know when he's going to crawl in the back of your truck, but he likes to do it. It keeps the guys on their toes and keeps them clinically sound. And then we have a local medical advisory board that we meet quarterly with, which is made up of all representatives from all the hospitals, including their director of nursing, as well as some of the 7 physicians. And they help us to meet our contractual clinical standards. And then we have a clinical steering committee, which is made up of all the Life Net administration and our education managers. They help us develop our protocols, our treatment protocols. If we introduce new equipment, the training for the new equipment. We practice, all of our medicine is evidence-based. So as medicine changes, which changes daily, we have to stay up on the technology and the standards of that. And the clinical steering committee's responsibility is to make sure those standards are in place and that we're doing it right all the time. So let's talk about the benefits of the village, being a resident of the village. You know, a lot of people, you guys pay a small dollar stipend, a separate line item on your water bill. And, you know, we've tried to educate the public over the last 2 or 3 years, and we've really tried hard in the last couple of months, not just about financials and billing, but 911 and, you know, a lot of different things. And that subsidy that y'all pay, it's not paying for free ambulance service. What it is paying is for you to have the ability and the amount of paramedic level ambulances in the village. And to me, I think it's a wonderful buy. But with that benefit comes some other benefits that's unique just for the village. If you're a resident of the village, not just you, but your household or any guest in your home, if you need 911 and an ambulance arrives and you have a this is the key word, if you have a medically necessary issue that needs transport, all we're going to do is bill your insurance, whether it be Medicare, Medicaid, a private insurance. If it's medically necessary, all we're going to do is file your insurance, and you'll never see any out of pocket. Now, if you're uninsured, you're going to get a 40% discount. If your insurance company declines your bill because they don't feel it's medically necessary, you're going to get a 40% discount. The EMS service doesn't decide or dictate what's medically necessary. Our job is to take care of you guys and to do appropriate documentation and to describe the situation. And hopefully, if we do it well, your insurance companies will see that, and they will deem it medically necessary, and they will pay their amount. But what we've also done is And this is one of the things that we've tried to talk about in the last 4 or 5 weeks is the helicopter, which is a wonderful benefit, not just for Hot Springs Village, but for the state of Arkansas. I know we've had some problems with communication with our partners in the helicopter who do our billing. They do their billing. We are an agent of that company. We provide all the clinical side of that house. They provide the pilots, the maintenance, and they provide the helicopter. And they also provide the medical records and the billing portion of it. And there's such a large company, there's been some problems identifying if you're a village resident. So some of the village residents, of 2 or 3 of them, have gotten billed, and it was because they did not know on the front end that it was a village resident. We're working diligently on that right now to be able to identify those. We don't fly a lot of calls out here, maybe 1 a month, 12 to 15 a year. Those patients, must meet flight criteria. We don't call the helicopter just for everything. You must meet the criteria for that. And believe it or not, we do have some of those acuity level patients here that in the village. Your time-sensitive injuries, your strokes, your heart attacks, trauma, where time is an issue. I mean, it's a 4.5-minute flight to Hot Springs. It's a 13-minute flight to Little Rock to a higher level of care. And the helicopter crew is highly trained, highly educated, and skilled. And it's very expensive. I just tell you that helicopter service is very expensive. And none of us want to think about that, an ambulance, a police car, a fire truck, until we need it. And but it's very expensive. But we're working diligently right now to get some of those issues fixed. And I can promise you the ones that's had problems, they've came to me and we've taken care of them. So we're real excited about that. Also, the technology that we have with LifeNet as far as equipment. We have the gold standard equipment. We don't, when it comes to our equipment that we use to take care of you, we do not use the lower brands. We use state-of-the-art equipment, and I hope you will get to see some of that before you leave. Just walk out into the foyer here. It's just unbelievable. We've been working on a lot of different things to get to you quicker, to make sure that our ambulances are strategically picked to go to your call, that they're located, that they're moved, that their turnaround times are quick. And we've changed our software in the last couple months, and we're using a program called Pulse. Ricky kind of highlighted this on talking about 911 a while ago, and I think I want to talk a little deeper about it because here in the village, 911 is a little bit unique. Does anybody know what 911 PSAP is, what that means? I know Ricky used the terminology a while ago. Well, what that is in Garland County, we have 4 major PSAP centers for your 911. When you call 911, and you need an ambulance, when you dial 911, you're not talking to me. You're not talking to LifeNet. If you need a fire, you're not talking to Chief Miller. If you need police, you're not talking to Ricky Middleton. You're talking to a 911 PSAP. These people are training 911 operators. Their responsibility is to identify what your problem is. Is it medical? Is it fire? Or do I need law? It's a one-button transfer to the appropriate agency that's responsible for that area. The problem is if you call from a hard line here in Hot Springs Village, you're going to have no problem. You're going to go to the Hot Springs Village Police Department 911 PSAP. If you use a cell phone, depending where you're at in the village, depending on who your provider is, you're going to hit a cell tower. It might be in Saline County, especially if you're in the eastern part of the village, or it could be in Little Rock. So it's very important that when you call, no matter what you're calling from, is I'm in Hot Springs Village, this is where I'm at. You need to try to know the location you are, or a landmark. But a physical address is the best thing that we have. But with, yeah, you're right. I mean, you need an address. But the technology we are using now, that we just started 3 or 4 months ago, is called Pulse Dispatch. And what Pulse Dispatch does, it's an integrated dispatch aid and tracking system. And it doesn't just take care of the location, but it also does candidate ranking. When I say candidate ranking, candidate is our ambulances. It ranks what ambulance is geographically closest to your truck, not the, I mean, to your 911 emergency. Not the way a crow flies, but literally time distance on the appropriate route of travel. So, for instance, you live east of Lake Balboa, a half a mile or a mile and a half from our Balboa fire station, but you live on this side of Balboa Lake. For years, we sent that ambulance to your residence because it only makes sense, it's closer. But with our Pulse system, it is identified that if we send the Cortez fire station from the other end, physically it's about a minute and a half quicker. So our response times have improved from around 91 to 92% to 95 to 96% in just the last couple of months. So this technology is, and it's changing every day, and we're trying to stay on top of it. But this thing has so many different tools that haven't even learned to use yet. It identifies our truck, so a dispatcher can have visual cues of a mission boundary for that particular ambulance. If another ambulance is on a call, and this ambulance is going to a call, and this one clears up, and it's closer, it'll automatically give a visual cue to our dispatchers to stop this one, send the closest one. It's really been amazing in the improvement it's made. Another thing I'd like to talk to you about, and I didn't tell Marcy this, but I put one of these on every one of your seats, and this doesn't just benefit the ambulance service, this benefits each one of us up here. It's called Smart 911, and it's new. And all you have to do is go to the smart911.com, and it'll walk you exactly through the steps. But what this is it's so much more enhanced than just a regular enhanced 911. When you dial 911 now, our comm center operators will see your name and your address. This, you can build your own profile. When you go in, you can build your medications, your allergies, your medical history. If you have pets that we need to be aware of, locations of keys, locations of entryways in your home. And it's free. It's free. And it updates you monthly in the event that your situation's changed, so you can update it. And it's not just for ambulance service, it's for fire. And it gives the dispatchers the ability with a mapping system in your smartphone for us to ping your phone and know exactly within 10 feet where you're at. And if you're unconscious with your phone and you say you pass out and your phone's locked, I can walk up, pick up your phone, and still dial 911 off this, and it will locate us by your phone. So, I mean, it's free. People would be silly not to take advantage of it, and it only helps us. The other thing is churches and organizations, now and there's a small cost to this, but a church can put their whole campus on this for every one of their church members and their whole campus, and the schools, and you build your boundary, your geofence around your campus. Say you have an active shooter in your church, or you have an active shooter in your school, or you have a medical emergency or whatever. When you hit your what do you call that thing on your phone? App. When you feel the little app, the Smart 11 app. Yeah, I know that. Anyway, when you hit the app, and it'll throw up, and it'll have a symbol, fire, police, whatever. If you just hold your finger on it, it's a silent activation. So if you're hiding in a closet and there's somebody down the hall with a gun, it's a silent activation, and we can communicate with you through text. The police department can communicate with you through text. So it's a wonderful program, and it's free. I know I'm rambling on here, but these things I think is what the village really wants to know, the residents want to know. We make about 320 to 350 responses a month here inside the village. And About 40 to 50 of them we do not transport. Let me tell you why. We do a lot of calls that are called public assist or lift assist. There's a lot of residents in the village where the spouse is taking care of their loved one, and their loved one is either bedridden or sick, or they live or they're alone and they're sick, and they have issues where I slipped out of the chair, but they just don't have the strength to get back up. They're not hurt. They don't need to go to the hospital. But you would be surprised how many times we respond to that a month. But what that does is it ties up our resources. It makes it harder for us to make those response times. But it's the right thing to do, and it's free. We don't transport you, we don't charge you. So, and a lot of residents don't understand how much of that we do daily. But I'd like to talk to you a little bit about one of the things we've really worked on in the last couple of years, and it's the sudden cardiac arrest and public education, public CPR, awareness, trying to get everybody trained. CPR has changed so much for the lay person. Who cares if you put your mouth on somebody else's mouth nowadays? We don't care. Just do compressions, push hard, push fast. We work hard on that. We do a very good job. The village is probably one of the best places with the number of AEDs we have at some of our local centers here and the people that are trained to use them. I can tell you for 215, our sudden cardiac arrest resuscitation for our survival rate was 13%. The national average for survival rate is 8%, and that is discharge. That is survival to discharge. So we worked very hard on that, and the simulation that we have back here is a routine cardiac arrest that we work every day. Is all the equipment that goes in place in that short period of time. So please look at that equipment. Our QI education manager, Daniel Strength, is back there, and he can explain every piece of it to you and what it does. You'd be surprised at the technology. That's all.
Thank you, gentlemen, so much. You can see it was a pleasure working with them. There was also a lot of testosterone in the room. Difficult for me to maneuver, but it was okay. But I appreciate you guys very much.